So I'm Trilla. Trilla K. The K is for Christina. The K.
I would consider myself a DJ, a creative, a singer, a songwriter, a poet, a cat mom, and yeah, I'm just existing, man. I'm 27. I'm from DC, Northeast DC to be exact.
I've been creating since I was a kid, but I feel like I've been sharing my creations maybe for the past 3 years or so, at least musically, and it's given me a great opportunity just to connect with people and understand that I'm not the only person who life just be life in, and not everything makes sense all the time, but doing your best to navigate this space, be a decent human. Yeah, living self-expression is pretty cool. I got some Dr. Bronner's in my eye, so I'm gonna rinse that out.
Woke up this morning, feeling divine. I step outside, I got the sun on my side. I got success on my mind. I hope that you see the sign. I'm in my God body. Can't a thing stop me but God's body.
I know you for DJing, but I saw you perform vocally for the first time at Baseland earlier this year.
Yeah.
And I want to know if you're planning on incorporating your singing more, if you're going to transition from DJ to singer, or if you're going to maintain both, or what's that looking like?
Okay, so a little backstory. I grew up singing. I grew up in choirs, school choir, church choir, small bands, singing over acoustic with my friends, and then I just kind of stopped. I don't know. It was just a lot of dudes would be trying to go smack. They were oh, I want to make music, but then it's
you actually just wanted to go on a date.
So I had stopped for a few years, and I started singing again. At least recording myself during COVID. Static was you just need to get an interface and a microphone. This is how you record in Ableton. And so I actually recorded my song God Body by myself, on the balcony, of my old crib, outside in the morning, just vibing.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, that's how that happened. And now I'm okay, I just kind of been thrown out there with performing, and it's lit.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is
great,
I didn't think that people would like my music. I don't know, I just kind of make it for myself. So the fact that people want to hear more, it's okay, I'll do some more.
Was there a moment where you shifted and you were DJing is the move?
Yeah, so I started DJing in 2019. I had my first gig at least in 2019. I had picked up a controller December 2018. And the reason I started DJing is because I was in LA for a work trip. And I do a lot of production and brand ambassador work for freelance, nice. Different companies and stuff. And we had did this gig with Puma and Selena Gomez, and they had booked female DJs for the whole weekend. Ooh, and so I got super inspired. And I was I could do that. I want to try to DJ, just for fun, shits and giggles. And I got booked before I really 100% knew what I was doing. I was going to Atlanta a whole bunch, especially during COVID, because they were open. So fuck it.
True.
Outside, Miami. I DJ'd in Puerto Rico. That was fun.
Was that this year?
That was literally a week before COVID shut everything down and people couldn't fly.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Literally, I got back a week before that. Yeah.
That's crazy. What was that experience like though?
It was really amazing.
In a pre-COVID world.
Yeah. It's I feel it means so much more in retrospect, because I didn't know the whole world would shut down afterwards. Yeah. So I'm just glad I was being present in the moment then. So yeah, it was really dope. And DJing, I feel like, has inspired me to like also make music as well, because I'm like listening to my peers' music. I'm playing for like showcases and stuff, and I'm like, well, this seems fun. Like, I want to make music too. And I started enjoying making music again, like when I started making music like by myself. And I like to create with other people, but I really enjoyed making music by myself.
So I was also gonna ask you about if you, cause you be busy as shit, girl. Like I swear to God,
I don't
like
know how to do it.
I really don't. I'm like every day you're on some kind of move, and it is a booking. Like you are not just out just to be out. Like, so I'm wondering, how do you avoid or navigate around burnout? Like that is something I definitely struggle with, because I be like trying to just pump out as much as I can.
I'm still figuring it out, honestly. But two of like my immediate solutions is like I definitely like work out and I eat a majority plant-based diet, and that helps with my energy levels a lot. I just started my fitness journey like a few months ago.
I've been seeing that a lot too.
And that's dope. I'm trying to get a little thick, so
go.
I gained some weight. Gained like 10 pounds so far since I started, which has been really cool. Because so definitely like fitness has like helped me like not burn out. Getting the appropriate rest. Like I said, like I have cycles, so sometimes I'll go a whole week and be busy every day, and then sometimes it'll just be like 3-4 days, and I'm like not doing shit, don't answer my phone,
so real.
in the house, like
for real,
chilling. So I don't suggest that for everyone, but like find your flow. It works for you, and take advantage of those high energy times and rest up when you're feeling low.
Very, very, very important. I feel like that's a great message for people in general, but also like specifically entrepreneurs. Because we
create our own schedules.
We do, and we're so hard on ourselves, and we're trying to hold ourselves accountable and do everything that we can, you know. So when we take a break, on a normal job, you have days off and you don't feel bad for having your day off.
You feel like your social media like sometimes like makes you feel like you have to always be doing something as well. 'Cause, like as soon as you get on your phone, it's like, damn, they're doing this or this person's doing that. So sometimes I just like my notifications for social media are off, and like I definitely take the time to unplug, because that's like a lot of anxiety for me sometimes. It's just like feeling the pressure of like, damn, I always have to do something, but you don't.
If you are currently going or struggling with any creative blocks, and if you are, how are you coping? If you're not, then how have you coped in the past?
So I will say, like, recently I discovered that like I operate more so in like phases, and I was like kind of hard on myself at first, because there would be like a whole week that like I would just be like unproductive or not really feel like creating or doing anything. But then the next week I'm like inspired and like I want to do stuff.
Right.
So now I'm just like honoring those phases, and I understand like not every time is a time for me to create, but when I do, to honor that and to actually create. So it's just like, you know, listening to myself a little bit more and intuition, and not like forcing myself to do anything, and taking advantage of when I do feel inspired. And a lot of times like just going out and supporting the homies inspires me as well to continue to create, because if I just stay in the house, like I'm not gonna really get inspired to do much. So
Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I'll say ambivert now.
Okay.
But I definitely was a heavy ass introvert, and I still are like leaning more towards introvert. But I like to socialize. It just has to be purposeful. Like I don't like to just like go out and not have a reason for like being outside. Like if there's a reason, like I'll socialize. So but yeah, definitely leaning towards the more introvert side of things. But sometimes it's like, girl, like, go talk to somebody. Like, I'm in my head all the time. Like,
oh my God, I can relate to that. At one point in my life, I consider myself an ambivert, but I feel like over the years, I've actually become more of an introvert. And it's like, I like the way that you phrase that about like, because I do like to socialize and I do like to make connections with people, but it's hard for me to do that in just any context, you know?
I like to like meet people through people. Like I'm like big on like mutuals. Like if you know my other friend, I'm like, okay, bet.
Because it's instantly good energy, you know?
But complete strangers, it's a little harder for me. But I don't know. You always can find some common ground with someone. Like I work at 930 Club, and there's like a very eclectic groups of people that come through there all the time, and people who work there as well. And like it's just amazing. Like you can find connections with people who you may think you have nothing in common with. So
how do you navigate, like, your main work and career is the life of the party, literally? I don't know.
Like, it's such a like
oxymoron. Do you think like creatively when you're performing or DJing, creatively you're obviously stimulated, right? But would you think that you're emotionally drained when you're in the process of doing that? Not in a bad way, just like
I never thought about it too hard. I think that's also why I take take times to charge up, because like sometimes I have over socialized and now I just need to like go back into my shell. I definitely charge up like alone. Like I can't. For sure. I don't think I can charge up around a bunch of people, but who knows. But I don't necessarily feel drained, and that's why I like to do like creative things when socializing, because I feel like that's more enriching than just like bullshitting. I don't know, whatever bullshitting
is. For sure.
Yeah. And when it's like out creatively, there's just more room for connection, I feel like, and I don't really like to go in spaces where I don't feel like a connection can be made.
If people only take away one thing from this entire conversation, what would you want to share?
I would say like, don't be too hard on yourself, and just like share yourself with the world, like whatever version of you it is. Like I would say like sometimes like I'll be so like in my head and worried about what I have going on, but then if I like meet someone, like you never know like who else like you can bless like just by your interaction that you have with them. So just being people, like just being human is a like great time to just share that experience with someone else. Like we're all figuring it out, and it'll feel a little less lonely if you understand that other people are also figuring it out, and like we all have like a little cool magic inside of us. So.
Yeah.